evening. Another good day. Sunday. Me and Mrs. Dudger went out for a ride on the tram today. We went to Livington Barn, which for Mancunians is the bike place that everybody goes to on a Sunday. So we popped up there and saw some friends we haven't seen for a bit. Nice time. And then we came back over the nice road on the way back. I've done a video, enjoy, whatever. Update on the other stuff, so let's get you off here. Right, number one, exhausts. Yes, they're stainless. Stick a magnet on them, nothing. So I'm going to use Del Boy's trick from one of his videos. Get myself a kitchen pan scrubber and a load of Coca-Cola and whiz that up and it'll all come up shiny shiny. I'm not going to chop them here until I've finalised what I'm doing for the end cam. I did have a plan, but we'll see. That's for much later in the day. So apart from cleaning, that's them done. Nothing to do. Swing arm, it's got all the major dust chipped off. All the brackets have been straightened. I have got one bearing on that side to get out, which is being a bit of a pain, which is kind of strange. Everything to me is kind of strange. You'll have noticed that. That's the spacer that the bearings run on, and that side is on the disc brake side, and that was fine. That side where the chain is and everything was covered in oil is the side that's rusted out, and that's the side that I'm having trouble getting the bearing out because I don't want to stress this too much, and I've been whacking at it but not got it free yet. It'll give. And the next step for that, I went and had a word with my neighbour, the guy I was telling you about that races antique cars. I think it's an Escort RS 2000 that he's got. So it's on classic insurance and he just takes it to these antique rallies. Sounds lovely when he starts it up. But no, he hasn't got the right kit. But he knows some people. And we think we know of a company locally that's got a line borer that will be able to take this out. And the second video I did to try and show this did not show it. So I'm looking at that and looking at the camera, and I just don't know. So I'll go all the way in and all the way out, and I hope you saw the lip that has to go in by 7.5mm. So sometime this week I'm going to stick that in the back of the car. I'll give it another clean to get the crap off, and see if they can take that face in by 7.5mm and line board out that. That will be fantastic. He also had a suggestion. This is the old triple tree bottom bracket, and as you can see, what I did on his advice, I took an angle grinder to it because this one was welded in. God, that weld was deep. See how deep I've had to come, and I knew I was going to damage it doing it, but by grinding, getting down, I was expecting to see fracture lines where the weld run out. Not really. So you whack it and you go in with this one, and eventually you start to see fracture lines, but it was so deep when I finally did. It was at this edge there, and you can see how much I've ground away, but that's absolutely fine. I went in from both sides and there's score lines down there, but it doesn't matter. I've ground off the swelling from hitting it. Unfortunately it rattled against the edge of the vise. I didn't have it in a vise, I just had it braced with the vise fingers there but not tightened on it or anything. But the amount of force it took to free it, it caught the edge of the vise and there's a few nodges on there. But I can sand them off. I'll just use the microfile and just clear them off. But there's enough of it to press the new bearing race on. It only has to be tight enough that it's level and true, and so that'll be fine. This back end, you can see the score line. I took a Stanley knife to it and scored a line all the way round. That is the insertion depth from that face with the washer taken off. So I simply will duplicate that. This is the triple tree that I need, but this is going to have to be heated to get all this steel on that I'm holding hot and hopefully keep that cold. We might even run some cold water through there from a tap. So as I put a burner on this, that runs cold, this stays cold, this all expands is the idea, and then you get a press and you press that out, and then you press this one in to that line, and then all that scabby stuff gets welded into there. Some of these were welded originally for engineers that didn't trust the press fit. Everything these days is press fit because they know that it's true and it works, but they've got machinery now that is so accurate that it's not a problem. I wasn't really happy with that. That is the lock point, and the different kinds of locks, so I'm just going to ignore it. Obviously at some point in its life this bike's been nicked, and all they've done is slam the bar sideways and taken the lock through there. God knows when, but I'm just going to ignore that, and all I'm going to do when we press this into there, I'm going to face that hole to the back, and then on this frame, that's going. I don't think I've got a key for that anyway. I might have, but I don't know. It's going. Do I really need a steering lock? No, I use a disc lock anyway, and it's not the kind of bike that is going to be used every single day, so I'm not bothered. Next job, I'm taking this dummy engine out because I need to get all this off so I can take some measurements and work out where I'm going to cut and what's going in, and I might even play with chopping the back end off. Now that I've got a donor, I know how this is going to work, so I might do that just to have a play, because it's Sunday evening, I've got work tomorrow. I don't want to get into too much junk. But I was quite pleased at getting that off because it saved me. If I'd have taken that to an engineering works, what they would have done a very neat job of boring that down and then punching it out with a press. But it would have probably cost me a load of money that I haven't got, and there's no need because it's preserved enough that when we press it in there and then weld the bottom, job's good. Yeah, that's the old rusty bearing. Can't believe that that's on the chain side, because there's so much oil on that chain, but at some point in its history there wasn't, and that's where the water got in. And hopefully I won't do any more damage when I punch the bearing through. It just needs a lump hammer and a lot of wooden blocks underneath it so that I don't damage anything. So yeah, that's where I'm at. God, I love my bike. Oh, it's got a problem as well. You might hear it if you see the other video. When you're just burbling along and you open the throttle, it stutters, staggers, especially when it's cold, and I don't quite know why. I'm going to have to check the fuel filters and probably get the carbs off and make sure that they're spotlessly clean. It feels as though one carb is getting dried out, either it's not being fed or there's some garbage in the way of the jet. But I've never been into that so far, so I'll have to do it. Much as I love that bike, it doesn't get used enough at the moment because I'm so involved with this project. Every spare few hours I've got, I'm working on this thing and leaving my bike alone, which is not right, but hey, enjoyed it today. It was nice. Lovely thing tonight. I do like it. Bit buzzy, but it's a twin, what do you expect? But other than that, yeah, nice. Might have to get in touch with Johnny Cactus. Hey Johnny, look, that cracked because this bike was in a holiday location for many years. That's the heat that's done that. It's not been hit or anything. But you've just taken one off one of your mate's bikes. Is it going begging? Let me know. Cheers. Anyway, that's enough waffle for now. I'll shut up. Bye bye. Ride safe. Fun with sparks. and just so you can see why, that will be set in there and then shaped into there, and the bottom end of that will be left clear, and a thing there so I can add a seat if I want to, using that and the thing that fits in it. But that's the plan. Obviously this has to go way down here, and this has to be set so the interface of that matches that line, which is why I've just luffed them off. But hey, all good fun with the grinder. Hiya. On the way home from work today, dropped in a bike shop. Pretty good kickstart they're called. Well, it was dead helpful. Cost me just a £5 to have the headstock pressed out, and I've tapped in the one I want. Tapped in sounds really bad, but don't worry, when it gets welded there it'll be good. And I've just mocked it up, so that's the forks and everything that's going on there. There's no actual bearing lace because I destroyed it getting it out of both bikes in the bottom, but I've got this spacer, so that's what it's going to look like. And those, now I've found an engineering workshop, are going to have the stems machined down and re-threaded, and they will go through these rubberized jobbies, and when they're sat at that height, yes, you can see, it will clear these, and it's kind of minimal, but I've still got the adjustment here for when the final bearing goes in, so I'm pretty happy with that. That was it, just a very quick update. Cheers, bye bye for now.